deep caves.
The facility has literally miles of files, some 26,000 filing cabinets filled with retirement paperwork, some of them stacked 10 high.
The only people who are opposing it are the people who benefited from the inefficiencies, obviously. Government caves deep inside. We are there. This came out from NBC News, and this is the Doge cavern that had all of these files tucked in there, and it's literally miles of files is what this dude said. So it's all going to be taken care of. Elon is here, got clips of him and reaction to this, but here was a look inside deep caves.
Buried deep inside this mine in western Pennsylvania is a little-known government office that handles a critical mission for the federal workforce, now set to be overhauled by the Department of Government Efficiency. From the mine entrance, which they call the portal, we took some golf carts a few hundred feet down into the mine. You can feel the air change when you get inside, and you can see this is all just roughly cut out of the limestone. This was once a limestone mine. And down here, this is where we find the OPM office, where a few hundred federal employees process all retirement paperwork for the entire federal government. It's an analog operation, all done on paper. It can take months for the Office of Personnel Management to process a case, potentially delaying retiree benefits. The facility has literally miles of files, some 26,000 filing cabinets filled with retirement paperwork, some of them stacked 10 high. Matt McIsaac runs the day-to-day operation.
I think that's in a way kind of cool, right? You could go back. Like, I don't know how old the files are. Like, how old are the files? Like, what's mile 1 all the way at the end? Who's in there? Do we have like the founding era people in there? Right? A lot of that's pretty cool. But when you start to get into the modern era, and the solution is when we have computers and digitization, you know, I don't know, like the last like 40 years, they can't come up with a better system than this other than somebody's like, I guess we better just find some more file cabinets. Golly. And they just keep buying them and buying them and buying them. Now, if you're like, you know, if you're in the 1800s, okay, and I guess you consolidate your files, but miles of files?
Inside. When you look out over all of this, what do you see?
I see people. I see careers, I see service.
And like, what do you mean a mine?
When Elon Musk brought up the mine in an Oval Office appearance back in February as a target ripe for reform, McIsaac agreed.
He's right. We have to improve the way that we do things for federal employees and for the American public.
Musk asked billionaire Airbnb co-founder Joe Gouveia to take on the project of modernizing not just the mine's operation, but the entire retirement system. When you look at a project like this, where do you even start?
Well, how about here on file cabinet 56?
Gouveia says Doge engineers are working to create a fully digital experience, with federal retirees the hopeful, happy customers.
Why can't we have an Apple Store-like experience in the government, where you have great user experience, beautiful design, and up-to-date software?
Aiming to upgrade a process long seemingly set in stone. Garrett Hake, NBC News, Boyers, Pennsylvania.
Miles of files in the federal government mines buried deep inside of a mountain. So people are happy with Doge. Here is John Kennedy saying, finally, we're going to take control of a lot of this madness, whether it's mines or USAID money or probationary workers. We're solving it.
Well, this is the first serious effort in my adult lifetime, maybe my entire lifetime, of Washington, D.C. actually trying to control its spending. And you can thank President Trump and Elon Musk for that. We've never been able to do it without getting Democratic cooperation because of the way the Senate's set up. But we're going to try to do it through, as you know, what's called reconciliation. The only question that President Biden ever asked was, who needs to pay more in taxes? We're now asking the question, a new question. What the hell happened to all the money? And we're going to reduce the spending, and I think it's long overdue.
Money gone. Just think about how much money has been grifted away and sent Lord knows where over the ages. We got more reaction. This came over from our friend Amuse. He was saying that these people who are protesting are getting paid money, like $25 an hour or something like that.
How many hours?
How much you get an hour?
25 cents.
25, right?
We're getting 25 an hour.
25 bucks. Yeah, you know what? I would do some crazy.
All right, so a little expressive language in that clip, but yeah, $25 an hour, pretty nice to show up there and protest Elon if someone's going to pay for it. But Elon was out on Fox Business explaining they're just trying to make the government more efficient. The only people who are opposing it are the people who benefited from the inefficiencies, obviously.
I'm just here trying to make government more efficient, eliminate waste and fraud, and so far we're making good progress, actually. So our savings at this this point, exceed $4 billion a day. So it's pretty significant.
You think you'll wind up getting to $1 trillion
Yeah.
of savings?
Unless we're stopped, we will get to $1 trillion of savings.
And that stuff can be translated. I mean, we've been talking, we had Russell Vogt, the OMB director, on earlier, through very rescission authority, impoundment authority. But I believe you said it earlier, it's an audit that will not gather dust on shelves. This is actually going to wind up with real savings, bend the spending baseline down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're actually going to reduce costs for once in our lives. Now, it'd be nice if Congress jumped in and helped with some of that. We got two clips here, one from Steve Scalise on the tax bill. We know the Senate is making some moves over there. Here's what they're saying in the House.
Look, I've been urging my colleagues in the House to move on this bill as quickly as possible for a lot of reasons. Yeah. One is to get the economy booming. There is a lot of pent up, and you probably talk to people like I do that say there's trillions of dollars sitting on the sidelines waiting to see if there's going to be tax certainty. Because if there's a $4.5 trillion tax hike, meaning if Congress does nothing, that's the kind of taxes that go up on every American. Nobody would be immune from it, and it would crush the economy. Yeah. So we need to get this tax bill in place to give not only certainty to the economy, but to bring that investment back in and get real economic growth.
Yeah, multiple pieces working together. And we had another exchange here from Mike Johnson.
We talk about reconciliation. You heard a lot about this. This is the mechanism that we have to advance the Trump agenda in a big way and deliver results to the American people, all those who voted for these big changes. And this week, we're working in the House to advance the Senate's amendment to our budget resolution, as you know. Just to recount this, we've been working on this for over a year. We started this process well before most of the people in this room agreed with us that we would have this moment of unified government where we would have Republican majorities in the House and Senate, and of course the White House as well. And so we started that process. I want to make 4 important points about the Senate's amendment to our House resolution. Number one, the budget resolution is not the law. Okay, all this does is it allows us to continue the process, begin drafting the actual legislation that really counts, and that's the one big beautiful bill. Number two, the Senate amendment makes no changes to the reconciliation instructions that we put into the budget resolution. So our objectives remain intact. Number three, any final reconciliation bill has to include historic spending reductions that we included in our resolution, while also safeguarding essential programs. And you've heard a commitment from us over and over that will happen, and the president has said it himself over and over as well. The fourth point is that reconciliation will be a collaborative process between the House and Senate. You're going to see the Republican Party and both chambers working together as one team. I know that's a rare occasion and people don't really know what that looks like, but we're actually going to do it this time. The House is not going to participate in an us versus them charade. We won't do it. To secure and accomplish our mission, we got to be working together and rowing in the same direction, and fiercely committed to doing that, and so is Leader Thune and our members on both sides. Passing this amendment just allows us to get off the sidelines and get on the field and start this game. It's the kickoff, so to speak, with one of my football metaphors, and we got to get this done. Republicans have an historic, once-in-a-generation opportunity to deliver relief to hardworking families and set our country back on the path of prosperity.
That is true, Mike.
The American people desperately need us to take this action,
yes,
and we will. As we wrote in a letter to our conference this weekend, time really is of the essence. There's a lot of pressure points that are outside of our control, but are forcing this action. We're months away from the X-date on the debt limit. The border security resources are being diminished. Markets are unsettled, and the largest tax increase in American history is set to hit families and businesses at the end of this year if we do not act. For all those reasons, we have no luxury of complacency, and we really don't have time to dither on this thing. So we'll be moving that forward, and you'll see that action this week. Okay?
Okay, Mike. We'll be looking for it.